Hey guys, this is Steven Cyphers. I am super excited about Freedom Weekend coming up here super soon, February 22nd through the 24th. And I wanted to reach out to you, host homes, because you guys are so essential to this weekend. And so normally, so you know a little bit about me, I like to do some kind of host home training leading up to the weekend, right? Well, I understand everybody's got busy schedules and all kinds of stuff going on, and so I wanted to make host home training something that you can do on your own schedule, right? And so this isn't something that there's going to be a test or an exam or anything like that after this, but since you probably don't know me that well and we haven't done Freedom and stuff together, I feel like it might be helpful just to communicate expectations and that kind of thing, and what does Steven expect of a host home and that kind of thing. And so you're going to get a host home packet, right? And so in that packet is going to be a lot of good information. I want to fly through this really quick, okay? Because I'm not going to read it all to you, but I do want to just elaborate on some stuff included in that host home packet, and then give you the opportunity to email me back or something like that if you have any questions about some of that stuff, okay? All right, here we go. So defining some important terms, that page you can see that there's different things. Bible study leader and hosts, right? So you are the host home, and so the leaders will have their own special training time going on Friday night before we start everything else. But host homes, this is your training time, and so this is what we're doing. You are responsible for this weekend. You're the people who are hosting the students for the weekend. You are in charge of transportation of students to and from all weekend events, and they are to assist the leader as necessary, right? And so we're trying to entrust the students to those Bible study leaders as much as possible because we want the students to connect with those leaders as much as they can. And so any rules or something specific you have, you tell your leaders, right? Because they will enforce those, and right? And because I'm coming down on those leaders real hard about making sure that they're respectful of your homes and that they're helping you guys as much as stinking possible, right? Because you're amazing. You're giving up a good chunk of your weekend to help us, and so we want to make sure that you guys are honored and respected as well. So that's what that is. And so Bible study leader, just so you know, those are the people that are leading those small group sessions throughout the weekend. Host home responsibilities. So let's fly through this real quick. Accommodations, try to provide a separate place in your home for Bible study leader to sleep if possible. That's not a requirement. You don't have a separate space for them. Don't worry about it, okay? And that will help the Bible study leader to be fresh for leading the group. Students will bring sleeping bags to sleep on the floor. So a lot of time host homes are concerned. It's like, well, I don't have enough guest rooms or something like that for kids to stay at my house. It's like, no, they just need space on a floor, right? So if we need to push a couch against a wall or something like that so that they could have more space on the ground, that's great. Students are just instructed to bring a sleeping bag and a pillow, and they're only sleeping there twice during the weekend, so it's really, they shouldn't be too uncomfortable, right? They should be fine. Food. Bolded portions are the host home responsibilities, right? And so literally the only meal you're responsible for, is on Saturday morning, right? And so during the weekend, Friday night, we're going to feed them pizza when they show up to check in. Saturday morning, you'll feed them breakfast, right? So if you want to ask them what they want, you can, or you can just say, hey, this is what it is. You're going to eat what puts in front of you, right? That's what my dad told me. So that could be anything from, powdered donuts and orange juice to, I know people that have made pancakes and bacon and eggs, and it's been this elaborate thing, right? You do whatever you're comfortable doing, and so we want to provide a little HEB card to help you guys out with some of that as well. I understand that that's not going to cover everything, but hopefully helps you out a little bit. But we're going to do Saturday lunch at the Corey's. We're going to do Saturday dinner at the Corey's, and then Sunday breakfast will be at the Speedway campus. We're going to have donuts and juice and that kind of thing. And so all that stuff will be provided. So all you need to do is provide breakfast on Sunday morning, on Saturday morning, and then any snacks that you want to get the students that you think they might enjoy. Those are all the things you have to provide for food, so hopefully it's not a huge burden on you guys. Transportation, you're going to help transport students to and from the Corey's and the Speedway campus, depending on what day it is and when we're doing what. And then participation, I like to encourage host homes to be as involved as possible, right? And so if that means you're able to be there on Saturday and be able to be a part of everything going on Saturday, man, man, that is fantastic. I hope so. But if not, it's not the end of the world. I understand you need to step out, or you don't want to be out there all day, or you've got kids that need to take naps or whatever, right? I get that. It's okay if you need to step away. But if you're able to be a part, try to be a part of as much of it as you can. Rules of the house / discipline. I mentioned this. Whatever rules you might have to tell your leader, make sure you tell them up front. If you want to present those rules yourself, you can. I think a lot of people think it's like, oh no, man, make yourself at home, no big deal. It's like, well, we don't actually mean that. So try to think of what rules you might have to tell the students when they arrive at your house on Friday night, okay? And that might be anything from, hey, make the place your home, but don't go in the master bedroom or the master bathroom. I think that's kind of a given for normal people, right? But students don't actually get that all the time, right? And they're like, okay, make it my home, I'm going in there. And they don't really have those boundaries, right? So sometimes you got to set those. So, man, just letting students know what is okay. Hey, we don't really sit in this fancy living room. I had one house several years ago that the rule was you're not allowed to touch the walls because of the fancy paint I use. I don't know, but that was the rule. Okay, we're going to enforce it, whatever you want. So anything like that, so let us know. And then medications. We're letting you guys be responsible for student medications throughout the weekend. It's not that we don't think students are responsible enough, that even if they are responsible, we don't want them to leave medications sitting in their luggage. And so if they need medications during the weekend, they go to you, okay? And that way, other students aren't getting into their bag, taking their medications or anything like that. I know that sounds bad, but man, we want to invite lost students to this event, which means we're going to have lost students that attend the event. So that's lost people act lost, and so that's what's going on. And so we want to help protect people as much as we can with that. And then lastly is pray. Those are part of the responsibilities, right? Is praying for the weekend, praying for the students, praying for lost people to be saved, praying for lost people to come, praying for the leaders, praying for the host homes, praying for the speaker, praying for the band. There's just a lot of elements going on to the weekend that we could use your help in prayer for. Student guidelines, you can read through those things. Those are pretty self-explanatory. My biggest note to students is always, don't be dumb. That's my biggest rule, right? Don't be dumb. Have a great time, have a blast, but my big overarching rule is don't be dumb, okay? And so you can look through the bullet points of what the student guidelines are. You can check out the schedule for the weekend. I don't have to read that to you. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. But you can see the big transportation times would be Friday night when you're driving students from the rally to your host home, and then Saturday morning when you're driving them from your host home to the Corey's campus. And then when you're picking them up from the Corey's campus and taking them home on Saturday night, and then Sunday morning when you're taking them from your home to the Speedway campus, and it's going to be at the gym that we have across the street from the church. If you don't know where that's at, it's on the corner of 40th and Avenue F. Okay, that is the corner where the gym is at. It's on the corner of 40th and Avenue F. And you can check that out there, and you'll see everybody out there. So host home instructions Friday night. You guys are the ones responsible for take and roll, right? And so as students show up to your table, you're going to be marking them off. You're going to get to know them, everything else. But I am actually going to walk through this bullet point by bullet point so that I can elaborate if necessary, and you can feel comfortable about what you got to do. So you're going to check in the host home table at the CLC down at the Corey's campus at 6 p.m. and pick up your host home folder, all right? So at that moment, they're also going to tell you, hey, so your host home, Cyphers. And so Cyphers home, you're a host home number 9. And so go over to that table there. It says number 9 on it, and you're going to sit over there, right? And at that table is going to be a basket of stuff, and of that stuff is for the kids. And so the only things that you're going to hand out to your kids from that basket is going to be their student book and a pen, right? It's also going to be their t-shirts in there, but we're not going to give those to the students yet because they're going to lose them, right? And so you're going to hold on to those along with that basket and take them to your home. When students arrive, which they'll begin arriving at 6:30, you're going to introduce yourself. If you have any co-hosts, which are people that help you drive, and then Bible study leaders too, any parents that show up as they arrive at your table, right? So some parents are, hey, get out there, go have fun. And some parents are the helicopter parents, right? That they want to meet everybody and want to be, say, hey, let me meet your host home and meet your leaders and that kind of thing. And so you're just going to help put them at ease and introducing yourself and helping them feel like, hey, your student's going to have a great weekend. It's going to be a blast. don't worry about them. If you have any questions, let me know, kind of thing. If you want to give them your contact info, if for some reason they're that worried, you're welcome to, but I'm not giving that info to them, okay? Inside your host home folder will be several forms labeled medication administration authorization. That will be if any students have medication, a parent, when they drop that kid off, need to fill out that form to say, this is what it is, it's for this kid, this is how they need to take it, when they need to take it, that sort of thing. That way you know when you're given that medication what to do. And then, let's see, the parent must fill out the form, turn it in, and give you the medication in its original packaging to you. Feel free to utilize the Ziploc bags that we're going to provide at the table located in your folder to help you organize the medications. Be sure you understand and feel comfortable with what is needed before allowing the parent to leave. Cool. I think that's pretty easy. Number 4, located at your host home table will be a basket with all your supplies for the weekend. These supplies will include student books, pens, and t-shirts. Please give each student their book and pen only before heading to the leadership hall for rally number 1. T-shirts need to be distributed after you arrive back at your home to be sure that so be sure to take this basket home with you. Number 5, as a group, discuss what you're looking forward to or like most about Freedom Weekend. Man, just kind of connecting with students and kind of helping them feel comfortable, looking at the schedule or something. Oh man, what are you most excited about? It's like, oh, I want to go rock climbing during free time. And okay, awesome. I'm really looking forward to the Freedom Games. I don't know what that is, or whatever, right? But just kind of chatting with them and trying to get them to open up a little bit. And then as a group, all right, number 6, discuss what you would like to do during free time Saturday afternoon. Whatever you decide to do, you're going to stay as a group for whatever you decide, right? Remember, it will be at the CLC, right? And so you may or may not be present. And so maybe that's something the leader is talking about with the students. But whatever it is, just remember that they're going to do something as a group and you're not going to split up into different groups. Because we want it to be a family that weekend. We don't want people going off doing their own thing and then didn't really get to connect at all. And so as students are dismissed for the first rally, if they are not driving themselves, they will take their luggage to your car, right? Then they will walk over to the leadership hall. That way they're not doing it all yourself, right? They're not going to leave their luggage at the table. Then you're left responsible to pick all those things up and take them to your car. And then they're not picking it up and taking it all the way across the campus to the leadership hall, or at the end of the rally, they're not having to walk all the way back to the CLC, get their stuff and load it in the car. We're taking care of it then. After they load their stuff into the car, you could even drive your car closer to the leadership hall so you're not having to walk back. Whatever you want to do. But that way, it's just kind of taking care of luggage and we're not dragging it around or having to go get it later, right? Number 8, you're going to stay at your table with your students until you're dismissed to the leadership hall. Once your group is dismissed and you've loaded up your car with the luggage, head to the rally and sit with your group. Man, I'd love for you guys to please stay with your group that night for the first rally at least. Like I said, I understand if stuff's going on Saturday, you're not able to do that all for every single rally, but at least Friday night, hopefully you're able to stay there with the students and connect with them a little bit and talk with them about the weekend. So on the roll sheet provided in your folder, record students not present and turn this sheet in to the host home check-in table before you head to the rally, right? So when you checked in at 6 o'clock, you checked in at the host home table, and so you're going to turn your roster sheet into that same table and say, hey, here's my students, all of them showed up, or if you had a student that didn't show up, here's what's going to happen. Make notes on your own roster and call any students who have not arrived after the rally, right? And so don't call them before the rally. They might show up during the rally and just miss out on food or something. So if they show up during the rally, that's okay. But if after the rally they didn't show up, then you need to mark them and you're going to call them after that rally before you head back to your host homes. If any students have not arrived by the end of rally number 1, call the emergency contact on their profile. Here's a template of what you might say during that phone call, right? Just in case you need a template. And then number 10, after the rally, you will be dismissed by group to load into your cars and the leader cars. Each student needs a seat belt. Make sure everyone is present before leaving so as not to leave anyone. Wouldn't make for a very fun start to a weekend if you leave them behind, right? And then last but not least, this is a huge piece, and I don't want this to be an afterthought, is the prayer guide for the weekend. And so this is the very last sheet of your booklet. It says Freedom Weekend Prayer Guide, right? And then first, man, pray for the worship leaders and the speakers. right, as they come in, because they're all from out of town, and so they're all coming in town, which means they might be leaving their family behind, or some of their families coming with them. So that's a little stressful, right? Because you guys know what that might be like to travel apart from your family. And then just pray, man, that God would speak through Jeff, that, man, the Holy Spirit would rest on Stephen as he leads us to the throne room as we're doing worship. Pray students would conform themselves to the truth of God's word. Man, pray for the gospel. Pray that students would hear the gospel clearly and respond and surrender. Man, pray for leaders and your own homes, right? Your home as well as other homes, right? Man, that God would do mighty things there. And then, man, any wavering Christians who just need to resolve in their heart to return to the Lord and come back to Him and be fully devoted followers, right? And so that's what we want. And so, man, guys, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being Host Homes. If you have any questions, you need absolutely anything in that Host Home packet, you saw my information. If you need to give me a phone call, please feel free. I want to answer any questions you may have, put you at ease. But that is our Host Home training. That is much shorter than if I had you come up to the church and we had a big long meeting, right? That might be 30 minutes to an hour. This was 15 minutes. So hopefully you found it helpful and informative. If you have any questions, again, please let me know. Otherwise, we will see you on February 22nd at 6 o'clock. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon.